Ron G Morning Show, Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WSAN Radio. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Ron G here on WSAN Radio. We had a little late start. It's on me. It's my fault. I apologize. I'll get rocks thrown at me later, but we're here live this Monday morning, Martin Luther King Day, a matter of fact, this morning. So I'm praying for the marchers out there because, as Martha Guest said, it's minus 24 where she is. So, and we're 24 plus. So, what can we say? So, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Martha. You want to introduce your guest?
Sure. Good morning, WSAN radio listeners. This is Coach Rice, and I want to introduce you to Kellina Powell. She is a dynamic deaf coach and advocate, international speaker, best-selling author. She's passionate about entrepreneurship and dedicating to helping young adults with disabilities. She's amazing. Her mission it extends beyond coaching. She's committed to educating a wider community among the deaf experienced, and she is a she has lost unfortunately she lost 100% of her hearing at the age of 4, and she would tell you more about that on the interview. But she earned a bachelor's degree in psychology and a postgraduate certificate in mental health and addiction. So she's equipping herself with knowledge and skills so she can support others in their journey. She is a what I call a person who is moving forward in her journey, but also bring it bringing such an impact on others. So I just want to welcome you, Kellina, to WSAN radio platform, and I want to introduce you to Ron Gordon. This is your first time meeting him. He is the owner and founder of WSAN Radio. He is the voice to the voiceless. So he has a heart to get entrepreneurs out there and let them shine on his show. So I just want to introduce you to. And so, Kellina, tell us about your experience that brought you into coaching with that particular niche.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here at the WSAN Radio. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys have a great, fantastic morning. And yeah, so my name is Kellina Powell, aka the Deaf Queen Boss. What really got me into coaching was specifically for the disability community. It's because for myself, when I was growing up, I never had anybody that looks like me or had a role model that looks like me. Especially, it's very rare to find a woman of color or in the Black community, like professional who does coaching. It was very hard for me because I did struggle a lot with my mental health while growing up, just because I became deaf at the age of 4. However, I did have a great support system with my family, 100%. But I felt like it was just more needed when I was growing up, with that there should be more deaf individuals who are in the professional field because it's very limited, especially if you look up online and you just type in, deaf doctor or deaf therapist or deaf anything, you're going to see there's nothing. There's nothing. And so that's why I wanted to make a change in the professional field, especially the coaching and the disability community.
What hurdles did you have to face growing up as you, if at the age of 4 you found out that you had hearing impairment?
It was difficult. It was not easy. The very first thing my family did was they put me into 2 different schools, the deaf school and the hearing school, just to help me learn to communicate with different people. However, I did struggle a lot in the hearing school full time when I left the deaf school. The reason for that is because it was so much closer to home and everything for my family, more convenient. However, I did struggle a lot in terms of bullying. A lot of kids would make fun of me due to my speech. So if you met me years ago, I would literally not believe I could talk like this. I used to pause every time I talked because I was super nervous that Some people will make fun of me because of my speech, and also too the struggle that I also face a lot with like being my own person, you know, accepting who I am as a person, accepting that I need accommodation, accepting that I'm deaf, accepting that we're different from all the peers, especially in the hearing community. That was something that I did struggle with a lot when I was growing up.
So you had to deal with bullying and in school
Yes.
and I'm sure that made you feel different.
100% every single day. Sometimes I would lie to my mom. Sometimes, honestly, everyone, I would lie to my mom and say I'm sick. Quote, I'm sick and I want to go to school. But it was because I didn't want to face the bully. I didn't want to go to school. Like, I hated it when I was younger. And I would literally purposely hide my hearing aid. Everyone, purposely, I would hide it so that my family couldn't find it. So I don't have to go to school.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah,
you know
it
what?
was.
It's not uncommon for kids to go through that, right? It's so sad that kids can be so cruel. I wish it was some kind of way that we could stop the bullying. That is that's the worst thing that a kid can encounter, especially, with disability. Tell us about your coaching business. Like what is your onboarding process?
Yeah, for sure. So usually I do a lot of partnership with schools, organizations. So for one-on-one, so I do a lot of one-on-one. I focus on positive psychology. It really depends on what the young adult wants to focus on. So for example, anxiety and confidence and advocacy. And so what I can do is we talk about what is it that she's struggling with, we go over it. We do a lot of role play Thursday, and we also do a lot of worksheet together. And I do meet with clients once a week for 1 hour. I do have different packages for 3 months or 6 months. It really depends on the client. I can't really say off the bat. But I use my previous client, for example. So for her, we went over a lot of stuff. Like we went over to see what is it that she's really struggling with, and number two, really understand where's her anxiety come from. What is it that she needs help in? So we look at her support system. That's number one. I feel like a lot of us don't understand how important support system is, especially in the coaching space. Like a lot of coaching don't dig deep into the client's root, like understand why that's even happening. So I give them a great good feedback of understanding why is this even happening? How come there's not enough support for the client? So I always look out for resources for clients, and also as well, sometimes some client may feel comfortable if they have a significant other with them and have alcohol to help them. So sometimes I will also do that. But we do a lot of worksheet and a lot of like role playing for them. So
And I'm sure role playing is very powerful. That's a very powerful tool to use, role playing, because it really helps them get into reality, right? And so, what would you what would you say some of the most difficult things you find when you're dealing with your clients that are dealing with disabilities? What common mental health issues are they dealing with?
I would say the honesty. I feel like a lot of us who are disabled could not come in with honest. And the reason why I said that is because it happened to me and I understood where they were coming from. Because no one actually truly sat down with us to really understand our disability. And that was something that a lot of us struggled. For me, I did not fully understand my hearing loss until I was like at 21, 22, to be really honest with everyone. And then this is the struggle that a lot of us face all the time, is that they don't want to be honest with themselves. They don't want to study their disability because there's so much going on in the life that they're taking care of, or so many other things they're thinking about. And there's so much things that we have to focus on. And it's stuck up because sometimes we don't focus on one single thing because there's so many things that we're thinking about every day, daily basis of our life, especially myself. So that's just definitely the number one thing that we struggled a lot.
I'm sorry, I'm talking and I'm muted. So when you're dealing with this, when you dealing with your clients, it's great that you able to recognize that you can help them because of what you've been through, correct? And so Tell
Exactly.
me about like we hear every day. We hear what we need to hear. We don't have a hearing aid. What is that like for you? And not to be, I hope I'm not being intrusive, but what is that like
Okay.
in your world? Like, what is that? Take us what that, if you can give an analogy,
Okay.
how can we take us in your world so we can understand clearly, a little more clear, because we hear every day. We hear things, right? We have the privilege and
Okay.
great, and that's a privilege and gratitude that we can actually hear what's happening. And you can too with the help of a hearing aid. But without the hearing aid, you experience something different. Maybe you can kind of elaborate a little bit on that.
For sure. Honestly, everyone, so think of it this way. Pretend you have something in your ears, for example, and it's something that helps you hear and not hear. Okay. And so first thing in the morning when I wake up, I do not put my hearing aid in first thing in the morning. Because I need for lunch, I need meditation in the morning. That's basic thing, favorite thing. And so I will put my hearing aid in. However, there's a little tweak thing that I do for myself to help me cope with daily basic is that sometimes I would turn off my hearing aid if I feel like I'm overwhelmed or I'm overwhelmed with lip reading. So a lot of you may not know this. A lot of deaf individuals lip read 100% for communication. So if I cannot read your lips communicating, I'm not able to have a full conversation with you. So for example, during COVID, the word match. People may be wondering how do deaf community communicate through match? And I tell them we do not. We have a family friend or someone with us that will translate for us, basically. And it's very difficult. So for me, when I go out and about, I'm always have to face someone's face or reading their lips. Sometimes people get intimidated because they think that I'm going to kiss them. And I was like, no, I'm a lip reader. I'm not going to kiss you. Like, don't worry. I'm like, don't worry. I'm like, no, it's not that. And then I have to tell them that, no, I'm actually deaf. Like, I have to read your lips. And they're like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to take it offensive. I'm like, it's okay. You didn't know. And so honestly, that's literally my life every single day. Like, every time I'm looking at someone's lip, they're always like, oh my God, like, is she gonna kiss me? I'm like, no, I'm just reading your lips just to communicate. And then there's some days where my hearing aid dies. So some people are always wondering how did the hearing aid die? Is there battery? Is there electrical battery? So for me personally, my hearing aid battery get Shopper Judgment. You guys, I think it's called BCS, the pharmacy store. That's what it is for you guys over there. So hearing aid battery sometimes die once a month, every 2 weeks. It depends on how you're using it. And the great thing about my hearing aid, so when I am walking, I listen to music and I'm a big fan of music. So especially when I'm super stressed out or burned out, I put my music on. Some of you may be wondering, okay, do you have a headphone? No, I do not. My hearing aid is actually Bluetooth. So everything that my phone does, it goes directly into my ear, just like an AirPod. And so every time I'm walking or I'm on the phone, I can't hear the background noise. So when someone's trying to call me, like Kellina, and I'm telling people, you gotta come directly tap my shoulder if you're calling me. So a lot of time I'm always playing music, especially when I'm at home. I will be on the phone. My family would have no clue I'm on the cell phone because they could not hear. And they can't hear the volume or the speaker. So it will be directly to my ear. So that is literally my daily life, honestly, everyone. Like it's a lot of advocacy for myself, a lot of face-to-face conversation with people, especially closed caption. I do rely on closed caption heavily a lot. And also too, I do drive as well, so I'm always very cautious on the road. I put my phone off all the time while I'm driving, so that way I can focus on the road. So I would say that's my daily life, especially when I do business meetings from like 5 to 10. I do closed caption on Zoom call, making sure the captions are working, or sometimes I'll have to ask the other person to put their closed caption on if they have it. So yeah, but that's my life daily basics.
Wow. I'm really glad that you talked about that because sometimes it's hard to ask that kind of question, right? For people who can hear, but I'm very in tune to like take me there because I want to know, you know, what you're going through so we could do better at supporting, right? And
Yeah.
so closed capture, when you brought the closed capture in, that's very key. And also, I guess my next question is how can communities, schools, businesses can support um, the deaf community better?
I would say there's so many ways to do that, but my number one thing I would tell a lot of schools and organizations, anybody in general, I would say the very first thing is provide a workshop talking about inclusive all every once a month, every other week, because it's very important that we do keep the conversation going. And I noticed that a lot of people are not consistent when it comes to inclusion. So it's very important that you do provide a lot of workshop or even to have someone to come in to speak about their disability. Maybe 1 month could be talking about, the deaf community, another month could be talk about handicap, or the next month could be talk about someone who broke a leg, or there's so many different topics around disability that anybody can do. And number two, I would say be acceptable. Don't be afraid to teach other people how to be more acceptable. And for me, for example, as a deaf person, I feel like there should be a basic sign language course that everybody should take, just the basic. Just the basic just to really understand, just in case if you do have a client walks in, you don't know sign language or so. Um, and as well, honestly, truly, just always keep educating yourself, be an ally, provide a workshop, and bring speakers in, once a month, have different conversations about different disabilities. I think that would be the great way for us to get it going and start teaching people.
I like how you mentioned, learn the basics of sign language because it is another language to learn and it is beneficial. You're right, because what if you do run across a person in need that want to communicate? That's how we connect. We connect through communication. And so I
Yeah.
think that is very key. I love the fact that you brought that up because that is a way that we can support and help and actually minimize the level of disconnect in that area. So I love that you said that. And it just seems so hard to learn, but it's really not. Probably it's
No.
probably easy to learn. So it's a good skill to have actually. And so thank you so much for that. Ron, do you have anything to say or questions you want to add in before I move on? Because this is good.
Yeah, this is good. First of all, I applaud you. I applaud her
Thank
for what
you.
she's doing and the things that she went through. I could relate with you because Martha know my story. When I was little, I had a bad stuttering problem and I was beat up, bullied. Everything you said, I relived that. And they think that we're not smart. They think we're stupid. And
Yeah.
and and hearing you say that you went through a lot more than what I went through, but it's almost the same. I'm reliving the time I was in third grade. I got punched for no reason because I couldn't answer a question because I got stuck on a word. And actually got punched by another kid in the school and teaching to do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I was put in remedial classes. It's crazy on how they look at us different and we're not. There's nothing wrong with us. And so I applaud you for what you're doing right now. This really needs to get out more because what you're doing, that people who has all their senses don't have a torch lit up to you on what you're doing. You're doing things that is beyond what other people can do. You got people that sit down here talking about woe is me, but yet look at what you're doing. You're bringing something to the forefront that everybody needs to know. And questions? No, I really don't have any questions. I just like Martha's questions asking you, and the answers that you're giving are so. I mean, I really can't put it into words. You are not to say wrong, but you are a unique person. You are a unique black woman who, as we always do, blacks seem to overachieve when they can, and they do. And I don't know about you, but I've been called an overachiever all the time. But yet they don't know my story, what it took for me to get here. And it's just me. I have to do more than anybody else to get my point across. That's what I'm trying to say. Because when you have some type of disability and people look at you different, you trying people to look at you like, hey, this is me, this is what you get, I'm just like you. That's the only part. That's all I want to say, Martha. I'm
Yeah, it
just,
can be a very lonely world
yeah.
when people can't relate, and people always wanna. I love the fact that I meet so many different unique people, and everybody is different no matter what. And so
Exactly.
if we was all the same, the world would be boring. But but I'm sure the audience is like curious, like, so what happened at 4 years old? I want you to give a little brief story
Yeah.
about that because I'm sure the audience would be curious.
Yeah. So honestly, so I went to daycare. I was fine, a normal kid, until I had an infection from daycare. My family brought me to my family doctor. They prescribed me a very strong ear drop. There's an inspection that was done to the staff members in the daycare. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they put too much in my ears or they didn't do it at the right time. I'm not too sure. So that same day that they put the ear drop, the daycare staff, then from that I went home. I was walking from home and you did a little different in my ear. But I didn't say anything. I thought maybe because I was tired from daycare. At 4 years old, I don't know. And then when I went home, I was watching TV. My mom came to me, tapped on the shoulder, and said, Kellina, I called you. I looked at my mom, dead in the face, and I said, Mom, I cannot hear you. My mom said, excuse me? So I heard her lip moving, but I'm like, what is she saying? And I'm like, Mom, I can't understand you. She called my grandma. My grandma, thankfully, was a nurse at the time. So my grandma knew exactly what she had to do. She literally rushed home from work with some tools for me to, like, she was doing it on me. And my grandma, what are you doing? And so you could tell my grandma had the back and forth heated conversation of and I could tell them I'm upset. And I see my grandma pick up the phone, call my doctor, and said, "We need to come to you right now." So my doctor said, "I'm so sorry, I'm fully booked, but you can come in tomorrow." So the next day, I went to the doctor. They broke the news to my family and said, "I'm so sorry, but clean it up. There's nothing we can do." So that's really how I became deaf.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's the story that I didn't want you to leave out because I'm sure people will be curious about that. And at the age of 4, your whole life changed, but it changed not. It wasn't. It's interesting because it was like now it made you who you are today and what you're
Exactly.
doing today. This girl is amazing on social media, by the way, and and
Thank you.
she, like you said, Ron, she's overcome and she's doing her thing. Like you wouldn't believe. She look amazing. She's on social media. She's doing amazing things in the world and showing up for herself. And I applaud you for that because you could sit back in agony and say, "Woe is me," but no, you saying, "No, this did not happen to me. It happened for me." And
Exactly.
so that's what I love that you're doing that. Let's talk about like you an author. Like tell us about the book you wrote. What you know?
So I actually have 3 books. I do have another book coming out in 2025, which I'm super excited. And yes, I know everyone's crazy. I really didn't think I'd be an author, to be honest. I'm like, I'm an author? What? No way. So I would jump right into it. So my very first book is about me being deaf daily basis. It's called Every Day I Am Just Deaf. You can find it on Amazon. It's a poetry book. I love poems so much. And it's really about me, what it's like to be deaf. Just honestly, truly, the whole purpose of my big book is really educate people. What it's like to be deaf, walk in my shoes, come with me, come into my life, you guys. I love having people on my journey. Just like my just said, like I'm super all over the place on social media. I'm always encouraging with people. I'm like, hey guys, look, check out my life. Like, I want people to truly understand what it's like to be deaf, and I want people to take whatever they're going through to embrace it, to let them know that they are not alone in this world. Nothing should never stop you from succeed. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And I'm always telling people that no matter what life throws at you, you have one life to live at the end of the day. God gave you that one life for a reason, and you are here in the world for a reason. And I want people to take my book and really think, wow, Kellina can do it, I can do it. And my second and my third book is a collaboration book with everyone in my own community, the deaf community. It's one of my third books that just came out last year, November or October. And then the second book is with every entrepreneur, young adult all over the world, actually, who have their own business. So we all came together and wrote one book. And my very last book that can be published in 2025 is going to be about the disability community who have different disability and their business. So we're all going to put that all together for 2025. So that's my book.
Wow, congratulations. I
Yeah.
love it. When you get your book, let me know. Get back on my show so we can push you out there and support you and
Thank you.
and interview you about your book because that's powerful. That's awesome. I love what you're doing. That is absolutely great.
Hey, Martha, I got somebody just chimed in with a question.
Hmm.
You mind if I ask that question?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This is Janet from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
She says she applaud this young lady for doing what she's doing. She's an inspiration to us all. That she has a deaf child and she knows exactly what she's going through. Her question is to her, with you being deaf since years old, the way you're talking is like you're not deaf. How did you in other words, she said, how did you learn how to speak? Did you have to start over again or what? That's what she's
Okay, I
asking.
love that
Great
question. I
question.
love that question. I love it. I just love that question. Everybody asks me that, Janet, all the time. Um, for me personally, what I did was I took my time learning how to talk. I had a speech therapist since I was 4 years old, all the way into high school. So I really just left my speech therapist not too long ago. And it took me time to develop my speech very well. It was not easy process. To be honest, there's some days where I'm very frustrated. There's some days where I cancel my appointment. My speech therapist would show up at my house if I ever do that. And she's like, no, Kellina, you are talking today, and I did not want to talk. I really didn't, you guys. I was so tired. I was exhausted. I was lip reading every day. And my speech therapist always makes sure that I was comfortable. And that's something a lot of us cannot find in professional. Are we comfortable? And I was too comfortable with her to the point where I felt confident to talk like that all the time. And that's something because your child is super young, you want to make sure that that child is comfortable with the person, especially if you're looking for a speech therapist. And my family are very long family. They talk nonstop. So that also why I speak so much because my family talks. So seeing my family talk so much gives me that hope and give me that confidence as well.
Thank you. That's good information. I like that. I love the question though. That was a great question. Any other questions, Ron?
That was one that came through.
Okay.
With no other, anything
That's
else come
awesome.
up,
I love
I'll
that.
definitely chime in.
Okay. I love that question, even though we're coming up on an hour. But but yeah, that's amazing. And what advice would you give, you know, maybe the young lady who's struggling to learn about who she is as she navigate through her disability?
I would say don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid of people calling you loud. Don't be afraid of owning yourself. I feel like for myself, I was so shy because of my speech. I really was. I was like, I'm not going to talk. And that was something I had to learn the hard way with that you never know who's out there that really going to love you for you. As a woman, we do want to feel loved and appreciated. And for young women out there, especially if you're listening to me, I would say that life is never a promise. Remember this. There's so much more in life. Travel if you want to. It's super important to get yourself out there. You know why? Because you never know who you're gonna come across. And number two, always watch other YouTubers that are deaf or hard of hearing or women of color. Watch them on YouTube. Go ahead. But do not be afraid to reach out and ask them questions. And I know a lot of young Black women are afraid to ask me questions sometimes because they think I'm busy. But then I said, no, I would love and appreciate if you ask me questions because I want to help you. And you'll be surprised how many people are willing to support you, help you, and even give you the resources that you're looking for. Always use the resources. Always, always. And number, I think three or two, you guys, I would
Three.
say that three, I would say is find your support system. Find them. Because it's super important that we do have strong women in our life. If you do not have that, get rid of them. I know it's hard to cut people off because we want to be there, we want to help people, but at the same time, you have to look out for yourself and find your support system. And that's something I just struggled when I graduated from university, especially because I just wanted to fit in. You know, I want everybody to like me, but then I realized that you're not meant for everybody. And people are not always going to be there for you how you think it is. Adult life is always going to be hard. And that's something that everybody kept telling me. Adult life is hard. It's hard, accept it, but learn how to balance, which is very important, especially we women. We need to learn how to balance life and how to take care of ourselves and especially friends and family. That's my advice.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Kellina, you are such a wise young woman. You're young too. That's what I like about it. Look at this,
Yeah,
the young coming in all
Thank you.
strong.
that's right. Something like this. I do have one question I want to ask.
Okay.
I'm listening to you talking, and if people see you from a distance, or you talking to somebody, and they find out that you're deaf, what is the expression on their face? Do they start treating you different once they find out, or they still treat you the same way? Because when I was stuttering, and when I turn on talk to people, I start stuttering, they start fading away from me, like I was a disease or something. So when somebody see you the first
Yeah.
time around and they talk to you, hey, what's going on? They find out you're deaf. I hate doing this, but do they start slowing their words down for you to understand? When they're
Mm-hmm.
talking to you, how they start slowing down, so make sure that you can understand what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It happened all the time. Everybody be shocked. I'm not kidding. Like people be shocked. And some people do treat me like a disease. I'm not lying to anybody. Like people be like, oh, you're deaf, okay, bye. And I'm like, okay, bye. For
Mm,
me personally, I know myself and I value myself more than anything. Why am I gonna let someone else take advantage of me when there's other people out there in the world that's gonna love me for me? And I had a lot of people do look at me and after they find out I was deaf and then they'll be like, oh, they're talking very slow or they talk completely different. And I would shake my head and I'm like, talk, stop, just stop, you look dumb. Like I tell them straight up. And they're like, oh, you're so mean, I'm trying to help you. And I'm like, did you ask me if I need help?
Right.
No, I'm just telling you. Yeah, and I'm very upfront with people, and I'm like, stop talking like that. Like, I do not talk like that. Like, I just need to talk softer and just a little bit slower, and that's fine. But don't change your tone of your voice. And a lot of people don't understand how important it is to talk more softer, especially for people who hard of hearing or the deaf community. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah. So, it happened all the time to me. Everybody be surprised. Everybody stop talking. Some people may stop talking to me. Some people may not even want to interfere with me. That's fine.
That's interesting. That's a good question. I never really thought about it because I talk to you like you just
yeah,
like me. I mean, I never really thought about slowing my speech and nothing like but I
yeah,
never thought about people do that. Because I talk to
Exactly.
different types of people and I never change who I am I never change my voice or anything like that. I accept them for who they are. If they need something, I'm sure they reach out and say, can you slow down or can you,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
I
they
just,
say if people
Yeah.
stuttering, you don't want to put words in their mouth, and you don't want to stop them from. You don't want to answer
Exactly.
for them, or it's certain things you just don't do. But people don't know what to do. They uncomfortable. They don't know.
Mm-hmm. And that's why people who stutter, they simply just stop,
Exactly.
because everybody want to answer their questions. You don't know what that person's thinking. It's just I don't have the time to sit down,
Yeah,
and
they don't
they
take the
are so
time out
rude.
and just listen and wait to
Yeah.
see what you're gonna say. Is because they're uncomfortable. Yeah.
I
But
could
I'm
talk.
sure, this is
Yeah.
so. Go ahead, Ron.
I
What
just
were you
said
gonna say?
I could talk to this young lady all day.
I can
I
too.
could
I could
talk to
take
her
up a
all day.
whole
She'd
day.
probably tell me, Ron, can you be quiet? I'm done. Because
So do you have any workshops coming up or anything like that? Or are you looking to do any workshops in the future?
So I just got invited to do a panel discussion for a high school student. It's going to be coming up next month, which I'm excited. These beautiful lady reached out to me because I was speaking further at school for a different topic. And they're like, oh my God, Kellina, I really love your story. And can you please come and talk to us for the grade 9 and grade 12? So I was like, okay, sure. So I'm going to be giving them feedback on how to find their career and their path. So.
Oh, that is wonderful. I am so happy for you. If I ever have a panel, I'm calling you.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. That's good.
Seriously, because really, seriously, you have no idea how your authenticity and your resilience and your fire, the energy that you have is
Thank you.
contagious. And this is what people need. And,
Yeah.
this is what people need. So thank you so much for joining us this morning on Martin Luther King Day.
yes. We
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
We
Wow.
totally appreciate you, and keep doing what you're doing. People
Thank you.
people need you, because you're right. It's not enough platforms around this, and
Exactly.
Thank you.
Not
Thank
enough.
you.
And it's
so
so
I'll
much.
probably be reaching out to you again for another platform.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do the same thing too, because I like this right here.
Thank you.
I mean,
I
this
appreciate it.
She has my. Yeah,
your
I got
wheels
about
turn.
30 questions on my mind right now, but I'm gonna hold off on that one on the 30.
Okay.
But I got a lot of questions to ask. We'll get together down the line. But I am Martha. Once again, you knocked it out the ballpark. Once again, with your guest coming on, this is a phenomenal person right here.
She is a phenomenal person. I'm
Never
glad that
heard
we
that.
crossed paths, and
Yeah.
so we worried about you though. I kid you not.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
I didn't know if you was in the Martin Luther King parade or what. No,
Oh no. Oh,
I'm
it's
just
cold.
kidding.
I mean, I
It's
grew
too
up in the
cold.
cold, but not out. No, I'm good. But I
It's
apologize for
cold.
that. But I'll make it
No,
up
you
there. But
fine. You fine. Long as you okay, that's what counts.
yeah, I buy everybody a
Exactly.
pizza or something.
I'm gonna be waiting on it.
You know
I'm
my
just kidding.
my wife said. She said, "Uh-huh." And tomorrow you be 70, so that's you getting old.
That's right. Birthday
Yeah.
vibes tomorrow.
That.
Yep. So
All right now. You gotta have a birthday radio celebration.
Of course,
um
that'd be so fun. That'd be
yeah,
so fun.
maybe I'll do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
I know, right?
I'll
Open
do
your radio
something.
station up and be like, call in, it's my birthday. No. Just kidding.
Maybe I stay on for over 8 hours just playing music and having a good time. My
So
celebration.
Kellina, definitely Ron will get you the video and share it with your friends, share the radio station, tell them to follow so they can hear more. He has such great people on his show. And so that'll be nice. And I'll connect you to I guess you guys can connect each other now. um I guess you could send me your Kellina, send me your text. I mean, send me your phone number and I'll send it to him, and that way you guys can connect.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you so much
No
for joining
problem.
us today. All right. Enjoy your Monday.
You too.
All right.
Have a great day.
All
All right.
right.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to WSAN Radio. Catch us on our YouTube channel, WSAN Radio SA. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button.